Hey there, Laker fans. Welcome to another episode of Lakers Detailed. I'm your host, Vinay. The Lakers just beat the Sacramento Kings without Luca, without LeBron. We lose Gabe Vincent in the first half. We lose Marcus Smart for a little bit. And we get an outstanding game from Austin Reaves and the rest of the Laker cast today in a gutty, uh, gritty, difficult game on the road against the Sacramento Kings, who have a lot of firepower themselves. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Malik Monk coming off the bench. They even had Russ hit like 4 moonshot threes that nobody was expecting him to make. And they had Sabonis, and Lakers were severely shorthanded, and they still found a way the Lakers found a way to scrap and claw their way to a win. Austin Reaves finishes with 51, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, has 1 assist sort of blown on this long pass to Jake LaRavia that I think he ended up getting blocked by Dennis Schroeder. Would have had a 50-point triple-double. But the news came out today that Luka ends up not being able to play not only today, but potentially for multiple games up until the week. And the Lakers respond with a win on the road against the Sacramento Kings on the first leg of a back-to-back. And you get an Austin Reaves nearly 50-point triple-double. Austin has been incredible as a player in a Laker jersey. He was incredible last year, I thought. Obviously, they fell short against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs, but he's looked fantastic. Obviously, we haven't had LeBron James to start the season, but he's been excellent. I think he's had 25 points, 26 points, and then now with Luke out, he steps up and puts up 51. So the first 50-point game of the season in a Laker jersey doesn't belong to LeBron, doesn't belong to Luka Doncic. It belongs to Austin Reaves, our very own Austin Reaves at that. And this is a huge, huge win for the Lakers, and I'm really, really excited. I'm really happy that they were able to get this win. But, you know, the Lakers got contributions from everywhere. DeAndre Ayton finished this game with 22 points, 15 rebounds on 10 to 17 shooting. And then you get Rui Hachimura stepping up with 18 points on 7 of 10 shooting. You get wonderful shooting from all those guys. And I thought today's game was a great example of what the team can look like when the players really play to what their best abilities are. There were so many different points in this game where I thought, the Lakers could run away with the game. And then I thought there were times where they could also completely lose the game too as well. And it was very, very cool to see so many different, see different guys step up in different capacities. And, one of the things that I think has been fantastic to watch, it's something that's been awesome to watch through all 3 games of the year so far. And that is the Lakers penchant, the staple, the need, the constant churn to run pick and roll. Throughout this entire game with the Kings, the Lakers constantly ran pick and roll. It is something that Raj and I have talked about it beforehand. It is something that they have not done historically with enough volume to qualify to me as a modern NBA offense. Every good modern NBA offense today spams pick and roll at the bare minimum, at least 10 times a game. And the Lakers just didn't feel like a team that did it consistently. A lot of their stuff devolved into isolations and post-ups. And I'm sure if you talk to the analytics people, they'll tell you about how the Lakers run a very non-analytically friendly offense. But the fact that the Lakers constantly run pick and roll over and over again, it results in good things. And today was a great example of that. Last game, we saw how Luka sort of went off and torched everybody with DeAndre running pick and roll with DeAndre Ayton. And then DeAndre Ayton was able to feast in the second half. We saw that same exact thing happen today. You saw Austin Reaves get his game off. Some were tough contested looks. Some were open threes. Some were just wide open lanes in front of him where he was able to use his floater or able to draw contact. And then you also had the other situation where after teams started doubling up on Austin, like we saw in the fourth quarter in this Kings game, you see the Kings start pressing Austin. As soon as he calls for the screen or he motions for the screen, DeAndre will come all the way to half court to throw that screen. They're trying to trap him, and he's perfectly placing that short roll pass right to DeAndre Ayton, and Ayton's making the correct decision every single time. He's making that skip pass over to Rui or to LaRavia or to Marcus Smart or Gabe Vincent, whoever it's supposed to go to. or he's attacking the rim directly. And Ayton probably left a few points on the board. I think he finished this game with 22, but it's very possible. I think with a couple of gimmies that he missed, he could have finished this game with close to 30 with how well he had played. So I'm super happy that we got really, really spectacular games. This Kings team, I've watched a couple of their games and they've only played 3 so far, but they're not a good defensive team and they play 4 guards. So the Lakers being able to constantly bludgeon them on the inside was a huge deal. And the fact that they stuck to it was fantastic. And talk about momentum breaking. Like, I think we were going back and forth for shots, and Austin hit 2 big time threes. It felt like at some point at the start of the fourth, it felt like the Kings were going to run away with the game because the Lakers had like a 6-point lead. Austin went to the bench, and then the Kings started ball pressuring, and we just started kind of throwing the ball away, taking awful shots. I think it was like Vando missed a layup, and the Marcus Smart like kind of chucked a super early 3. Like the Lakers clearly got sped up. And then eventually things slowed down. Austin came back in the game. He hit a monster 3, and then he hit like a face-up monster 3 on DeMar DeRozan that gave us like a 2 or 3 point lead. And like the Lakers just did an awesome, awesome job of staying poised, battling. I thought JJ Redick did a fantastic job doing the best that he could with what he had available. Losing Gabe was hard for the Lakers because you lost basically another ball handler that you could kind of utilize to run the offense. So when Austin went to the bench, everything got really shaky for running the offense. But Lakers managed to survive. I don't expect the Lakers to have clean games. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're down your 2 best players. We'll see what happens with Gabe tomorrow. Marcus Smart got a little dinged up, but he was back on the bench. He ended up finishing the game. Like, we can't really afford to lose any bodies, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Sometimes you just got to play. You got to scrap out some of the games that we have, and I thought it was really awesome to see the team respond the way that they did. Austin went 12 of 22 from the field, 6 of 10 from the 3-point line, and 21 out of 22 from the free throw line. So really, really great shooting game from him today. I thought he played fantastic. I thought his playmaking was fantastic today. I thought he was making excellent reads. The Minnesota game was a great example of, I was really tracking how he'd play that game because Minnesota did actually a really, really good job in the playoff series, speeding Austin up to the point where he was kind of trying to chase, chase the punish aggressive defenders for fouls to the point where he was just turning the ball over and making simple mistakes. And I thought when I watched him in the Minnesota game, kind of pick his spots, play with good pace, find his teammates, find the spots where he was supposed to score, I thought he was really, really turning a corner. And it might have to do with the fact that we have a guy like DeAndre Ayton. Well, Rui's also been playing better too as well. And having better teammates around you can make your life a little bit easier. Obviously, Luka was spectacular in the Minnesota game, so that's going to always be something that matters too as well. But I thought he played an excellent game today. I thought he played an excellent game against Minnesota. If he plays tomorrow, and if all these guys end up suiting up tomorrow, I expect him to play a great game against Portland too as well. But the title of this pod is exactly what it is. It's money time for Austin Reaves. We all know that Austin has a player option next year. Even though it's technically not a contract year for him, it's a contract year for him. And obviously we don't want the circumstances to be that we don't have LeBron and we don't have Luka. But hey, if it is what it is, you got to kind of play through the cards that you're dealt. And I thought Austin did a fantastic job today, sort of leading the team. You could tell that the Lakers in general were very keen. Like all the Lakers players were like waiting for him to get back on the floor so they knew who the ball was supposed to go to and who was going to dictate what happens on the offense. So his evolution as a player has continued to be awesome. It has been awesome to see him grow as a player and, just continue to blast through everybody's expectations. And so those are my thoughts immediately on this game. As always, I want to thank all the folks that are able to join Lakers Detail tonight. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Obviously, this is a great cap if you're a Lakers fan, a great cap to your weekend with the Lakers closing out the Kings on the road with a win on the first leg of a back-to-back. If you haven't had the opportunity to, you can always support Lakers Detailed and join the Detailers Club right here up at the top. All you do is go to YouTube and you hit the join. It's a way of supporting the pod. and it gives you access to our Discord, which is where a lot of our conversations happen. And as always, I appreciate all the folks, all the Detailers Club members that are in there, as well as the folks who are able to join the chat. And if you guys have any questions about just things that you've seen on the timeline, feel free to share stuff in the YouTube chat, and I'll definitely try to address them as they come in. But let's take a look through some of these comments that we have in YouTube so far. Happy Sunday to you, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. J9, I hope you're doing well too as well. Ashan joining the chat tonight. Try to tell you guys this is Austin's team now. It definitely is, at least until Luka and or LeBron come back. Comment from Shell. Eric career game came in as a leader. He's embracing it. Honestly, I don't see any reason why people should be afraid about obviously not having your 2-star players is a big deal, especially against hyper competitive teams. But against teams like the Kings, against teams like the Blazers, against teams like the Grizzlies, maybe teams aren't necessarily like locks to be top 4, top 5 seeds. I certainly think the Lakers have enough talent to win some of those games. Sean says, I don't think Luka realizes that Austin could be better than him. Well, we won't go that far. We'll see how that works. And then one more comment from Sean that we should play Manon more instead of Dalton. I'm going to get to that because it's going to be it's been rough for Dalton. But let's just talk about the big news of today. Luka's hurt. He went for a strip yesterday on Jaden McDaniels. And when he went for a strip on Jaden McDaniels, it looks like he sprained his finger, but he played through it. He continued to torch the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm not really sure it's too big of a deal, but chances are, if I had to take a guess as to what happened, is that his finger probably swole up a little bit more today and probably felt really stiff. And the Lakers probably don't want to. They probably want to give it some time to just for the swelling to come down, so he gets more flexibility in his fingers. And I would imagine that if as soon as that comes back, he'll probably come back sooner than that full week. And they're probably just saying that he's out for a full week just for the sake of just being overly cautious. But the injury sounds like it's one of those. Does Luka feel good enough to play? And does he want to play injuries, as opposed to a doctor saying, oh, no, you just can't play for a week? So it's going to be really important for the Lakers to be able to kind of hold the boat if they can go 500 or better during this stretch. But it's awesome. This is a great way to start this entire process for this team. So I'm super, super happy about that. The Lakers are going to be playing the Blazers, and then they're going to play Minnesota, and then they're going to play Memphis. And I think they have a couple of those games are on the road, and then they'll have a home game at Miami. I would hope that Luka makes it back by that Miami game. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back a little bit sooner, but it would be awesome if he can come back at least for that Miami game. At least that would help quell some of the seriousness behind it. But look, like I said before, injuries are just a part of the game. I know some folks have been complaining about the Lakers not getting preseason reps and that affecting whatever's happened this season. That's not what's happening here. Like, LeBron sciatica has nothing to do with preseason reps. That's just sciatica. That's just what it is. Gabe spraining his ankle today, just battling on the defensive end, has nothing to do with preseason reps. And Luka spraining his finger trying to defend, trying to strip Jaden McDaniels on a layup attempt, that has nothing to do with preseason reps either. So I would push back probably on anybody who's complaining about stuff like that. Luka clearly, obviously the Lakers as a team had some miscommunications in that Warriors game. Warriors are a very unique team with the way that they play defense, but it doesn't look like the Lakers are really shaking off. Took like one game for them to shake off rust with their team, especially on the offensive end. The defensive stuff will always be something that gets worked out because it's something that involves a lot of communication and trust over the course of a season. But the Lakers have looked great on offense, honestly. Like that, I don't know about y'all, but it's been really, really good. They've been really good on offense, and that's probably the least of my concerns. It's really about just being healthy enough to have bodies to be helpful. Some more comments coming in. J9 says DA seems too undecisive when he's the role man. He's missing some court mapping. I think, Jay, that's a great comment. I think one of the things that probably happens is when where he receives the ball makes things a little bit tricky for him. If he catches the ball at the 3-point line, I think he's very comfortable dribbling into his shot and then taking it or attacking the rim. But when he's above the 3-point line, it's just like a weird zone. Like, if he doesn't practice getting the ball really that high, he's probably not used to what he's supposed to do from there. He's probably more likely to look for a skip pass. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that you have to keep in mind when he does that. This is not to say he's not capable of making that adjustment, but I think these reps early in this season of him understanding how teams will attack his short roll is a big deal. And I think it's really good for DeAndre Ayton to get this. It's something that we talked about, me and Raj talked about prior to the season starting. These reps are where the live reps is really where you get it. Preseason is not really real live reps because teams aren't really trying to defend the same way. But these are great reps for him to get in regards to that. And so thanks for that question. And shout out to you, J9, for joining the Detailers Club. J9, if you're on Twitter, if you're on X, just message me on X and let me know. And I'll send you the link to the Detailers Club. Or actually, I'll share the Discord link in here, and you can just join in through there and just message me on Discord, and I'll make sure I upgrade your role so you can see the Detailers Club channel, and I'll share it with you shortly in the chat here. Rel says shout out to Ayton too. Yeah, I'm with you. I thought Ayton was excellent. This game that we got from Ayton, obviously we'd love to see him get 20 and 10, 20 and 15 every night, but with Luka, with LeBron eventually coming back, with Austin, I don't know if he's going to average 20 a night. But the games where teams are out of his way, where teams are like kind of playing off of him, or they're letting him play one-on-one, like he's going to be great. And let's take it a step further. Ayton's defense tonight was really good. Like it was really good today. Like I thought he was doing a really, really nice job playing with verticality, not trying to chase blocks. He was staying on his feet. Using his body, using his length, challenging shots. There was a couple of possessions where I think Zach tried to go to the free throw line and he would go and challenge shots. He would challenge Dennis Schroeder's shots. I thought he was changing shots and challenging shots in a good way. He's doing a fantastic job rebounding. There was a part he was doing such a good job rebounding that it actually forced Sacramento to have to play Russ because Russ would crash from the guard, whoever was guarding Russ. I think it was like Laravia, and it might have been somebody else, but they were just kind of ignoring Russ. So that's why Russ was getting those offensive rebounds. But they have to do that because Ayton's wiping out Sabonis. Sabonis is a great offensive rebounder. He's a huge problem. But the fact that Ayton can manage to keep him off the glass and they have to send more bodies to do it, that's a good thing for the Lakers. That means that the next time the Lakers are out there and they have more size and whatnot, they'll be better. And we'll be able to clean some of that stuff up. So I thought that was fantastic effort on both sides from DeAndre Ayton. And again, like I said, he missed a couple of gimmies here and there, and that's going to happen. That's not something that you can avoid. All players are like that. You're bound to miss small plays. And I'm going to add the Discord link in here for you, J9. So just join that way, and I'll make sure you can hit the link and join the Discord, and I'll make sure I add you to the Detailers Club from there. But getting back to it, it is really, really important that the Lakers continue to play with great pace, to play with great execution. And like I said, if all else fails, don't devolve into iso ball. Just go run pick and roll. Something good will come out of it every single time. So I thought Austin was fantastic in that capacity. I thought DeAndre Ayton was fantastic in that capacity. I thought you got some great buckets out of Marcus Smart. Some of it wasn't pretty. He had a lefty hook shot that he took. That wasn't that great, but it didn't look great, but he did a good job. He was drawing fouls. He was grifting a little bit himself. So I thought he did a really good job in that capacity. But we're going to need other guys to step up. And one of the guys that was able to step up was Rui Hachimura. I thought the best way for the Lakers to control the pace of the game was going to be to constantly attack the interior. And one of the best parts of today's game, I thought, especially early on in the game, in the first quarter, where I think Rui did a lot of his damage, just constantly posting up the small guards, Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, and then just going right to the rim and not settling for mid-range shots. I thought Rui did a really fantastic job picking his spots and not just pulling that open three every single time. One of the things that I think Rui has done, and he sort of mentioned that he's less aggressive when LeBron is in the post because there's just less space. but I don't think it's Braun specific. I think this is just how his decision making works. Rui being more aggressive and attacking the rim, uh, keeping his dribble alive, realizing that he's got like 200 pounds on the guy that's probably guarding him, or that's exaggerating, but 100 pounds, 120 pounds on the guy that's guarding him, and that he can just bully his way to the rim. It's a huge deal. Like him, I think he had a dunk today, which I thought he was going to take a layup, and he finished with a dunk. Like when Rui's finishing possessions at the rim and he's dunking the ball, that's when you know like he's really into the game. And I thought he did a fantastic job. They went away from him a little bit later in the game. I think they started going to Austin a little bit more, and Austin was taking shots. Um, and then eventually they kind of started going back to Rui in the fourth quarter. But I think during this stretch, at least until Luka gets back, the Lakers are going to have to lean on some of that. They're going to have to lean on uh, some of that ISO action. When Rui gets advantages in the post, you've got to lean on it, and you've got to try to make use of those possessions, because they can be quality possessions for him, because he can finish in the mid range and he can finish at the rim. And same goes for Ayton. If Ayton gets good post ups, he had a couple of nice plays against Sabonis, and then he also had a couple of nice rolls against their defense too as well. So you have to lean on your big guys, and that's the only way that's going to work for the Lakers. But I thought the team played great today. I thought this is a really scrappy win. I thought they did a fantastic job. But we're gonna have to. Hopefully, Gabe's able to play. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how this next game works out. But it's money time for all these guys. DeAndre Ayton has a player option. Rui Hachimura is in a contract year. Marcus Smart has a player option. Jake LaRavia, I think, has a 2-year deal, but basically, he's kind of auditioning for himself too in a bigger role. Austin Reaves, we've already talked about. This is money time for all of these guys. And that's the way that they should really treat it. Not as in like, oh, I need to get my stats, but as in like, hey, I can really make a name for myself here if I can help the team win games, do the things that are necessary for the team to win games. And so I'm hoping that core group of guys, Austin, Rui, Ayton, LaRavia, Marcus Smart, I hope all those guys continue to be successful and just kind of continue to play up to what we expect out of those guys. And if they can, I think that'll make a huge difference for this team. And like I said, you can beat a team like the Blazers. You can beat a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. Minnesota might be tough, but if Minnesota doesn't have Anthony Edwards, maybe you can steal one against them too. You never know. It just comes down to trust and belief when it comes to it. Rel asked a question here on YouTube. What's your thought on us going with the young guy for defensive spurt? Rel 7138. Rel, do you mean Chris Manon? Magnon? I don't know how his last name is pronounced, so hopefully I pronounce it correctly. But they're gonna have to lean on some of these young guys. If Gabe Vincent is out, I honestly think that the Lakers have to consider like playing like Nick Smith. Of all the guys that they have that are comfortable running pick and roll, I think Nick actually might be the best. And at running that, like that, Lakers probably don't want to have to go after him, but have to dive into using him for minutes. But I genuinely think, especially off a back-to-back, if you're trying to preserve legs, like I think you should lean into Nick Smith. Nick Smith has reps on a parent team with the Charlotte Hornets, and I think he's very, very capable of running a pick and roll and scoring out of a pick and roll. So I would certainly give him a shot when it comes to it. The person that I'm actually a little curious about, I'm like a little concerned about, curious about, I don't know, is Dalton Connect. Dalton has not been jumping off the page like he normally would. It's certainly not something that he's been there. He's been settling a ton, and he's been settling for threes a ton. He's not attacking the rim. He's not being aggressive with his scoring. And I'm a little concerned that not that he's checked out mentally, but that he's just settling too much. And so my concern about him is if we're going to have to use him in the rotation, like he's going to have a really, really short leash. And I'm concerned that if he has a really short leash, it's going to result in just him not getting enough rhythm or quality minutes or anything like that. So I'm going to be very curious to see how the Lakers manage to do that. But until Luka comes back, and if Gabe Vincent is hurt for a serious period of time, the Lakers are actually going to have to try and figure out exactly how to utilize some of these young guys. Like I don't know when Jackson Hayes is going to be ready. Hopefully, if he comes back, he's going to be a huge help too as well. If he can come back anytime sooner than later to help shore up the backups, because that'll help Jared Vanderbilt be more uh, disruptive on the wings, as opposed to him having to play center and having to crash the glass and whatnot. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how that works out. But honestly, for I'm not going to go too long on the pod, but I think the Lakers have a solid shot of at least going 500 until Luka gets back. And if they want to, if they want to like really try to see what this team is about, they're probably going to have to dip into the young guys. Like, you're going to have to play Nick Smith. You're probably going to have to play Dalton to see if you can find a way to squeeze him in. But I trust JJ to figure things out. JJ went when Luka got hurt. I thought Laravia might be a better person to start today. But I kind of mentioned that I wouldn't be shocked if Vando or Marcus Smart started the game, specifically because I knew that the Kings were downsizing. Because I've seen a couple of their games that they like to play 3 and 4 guard lineups. And so knowing that, and then seeing JJ go with Marcus Smart to match the kind of foot speed and what they did, it kind of makes me think that JJ is very, very tactical with the way that he's running some of these lineups. The Blazers don't play small. So I wouldn't be shocked if maybe JJ considers, especially with Gabe out, it looks like his ankle sprain was a little rough. He'll have to go big. Like, he's not going to go with a small guy. I think maybe JJ will try to go with a bigger guy. So he might actually play Laravia, or he might play Vando in that starting group to add a little bit more size to help with the rebounding. And so it'll be interesting to see how they manage. I don't think it's going to be like one solution fits all the way through. I think JJ is going to have to really, really know. We're going to find out how well he really evaluates the roster and how well he knows his roster to help these guys survive. And fingers crossed that everybody continues, like, for who we have left, that he's able to stay healthy, because we really, really can't afford to lose any other bodies. And I don't want that. And I think the Lakers have an opportunity, even without Luka, to come out of this with a winning record going into November and going into Halloween. So I'm going to be I'll be locked in. You can call me overly optimistic, but I do think Austin, Rui, Ayton, and like one guy who can knock down a couple shots, whether that's Smart, Laravia, or maybe it's Dalton. Like, I think that's enough offense to get you to 100 points, 110 points a night. Obviously, I don't expect Austin to put up 51 a night, but I certainly think Gabe Vincent went 0 for 4 today. I'm sure that he can knock down a couple shots. Jared Vanderbilt, 9 points today. Jake Laravia, 3 for 10, 11 points. But again, like, maybe with more rhythm, he knocks down some more shots. We're going to need guys to step up, and we'll need that offense. So I'll be very curious to see how things go. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Most likely I'll be doing the playback tomorrow for the Portland Blazers, for the Blazers-Lakers game. So we'll watch that live and see how that game goes live. But as always, folks, the Lakers come out with a win. We beat the Kings, which is great, because we always love beating the Kings because they beat us for so many years. And now we're finally returning the favor. But as always, folks, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys have a great end to your day, end to your weekend with this Lakers win. The Lakers will be right back at it tomorrow. And I appreciate all the support to Lakers Detailed. Raj was busy tonight, so he ended up not being able to make it, but we'll definitely make time to do our regular session together, our regular recording together. But I didn't want to leave you guys waiting, because I know that we haven't recorded anything on Lakers Detailed for a while. But as always, I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or wonderful evening whenever you guys hear this. And if nothing else, I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.